Welcome back, everyone. We have a fantastic episode planned for you today. Furthermore, XRP is having a great time. Check this out, then. The market capitalization of cryptocurrency just reached $4.1 trillion. Yes, you heard correctly. Chef's kiss, I'm all for it. We're looking at a solid 1.2% increase overall and hitting the $4 trillion threshold. Ethereum is maintaining steady at $4,500. Bitcoin is stretching at $118, 300 plus, and our friend XRP is comfortably in third place at $3.12. Although we're still down 2.1% for the week, we've gained roughly 0.2% in the last day. Hey, that's cryptocurrency for you, but here's what's truly intriguing. XRP is now trading within this narrow band of $3.09 to $3.14 at the moment. Even if we're at the upper end of that spectrum, things are becoming more constrained. That tells me that we're just waiting and relaxing. What are you waiting for? In order to truly vote on that clarity legislation, Congress needs to return to its business. It will be a game changer once that baby is passed and signed. However, that isn't even the most exciting aspect of today's performance. MicroStrategy and Joe Lubin's team are directly targeted in the major drama that is developing in the Ethereum and Bitcoin space. Even though I hinted at this yesterday, I promise not to go into too much detail again, just enough to give you the general idea, and your mind will be blown when you see what's actually happening down here. Let me quickly set the scene for you. I've been keeping quiet about this, guys, but I can't keep quiet any longer. We must talk about the current state of these cryptocurrency treasury firms, and specifically I've previously talked about SharpLink Gaming, but I've been reluctant to mention another, and that's Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy. I now believe that Michael Saylor and Joe Lubin, along with all of their supporters and everyone else who is a huge fan of this whole crypto treasury corporation scam, are accomplices in what could be one of the most serious crimes ever. As far as I can determine, this is essentially a huge Ponzi scheme. And I'm not going to stand by and watch this happen any longer. Just today, Joe Lubin's SharpLink Gaming has dropped by almost 15%. Ethereum is down 3%. What on earth is happening? Bitcoin has reached its highest point ever, yet MicroStrategy is only about 20% higher. Will they ever quit working on the market issuance? No. Michael Saylor clarified the terms under which they will continue to do so in his most recent earnings call. However, the truth is that we are still becoming diluted and that stockholders are being totally destroyed. If you purchased SharpLink Gaming as soon as it was released, you are currently down at least 50%. That's crazy. There will be written or actual lawsuits about it. This will go down in history. Sam Bankman-Fried was, in my opinion, a saint. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. What do you know? After months of preaching this message on the channel, things are now starting to come together. Imagine this. You give your hard-earned money to Michael Saylor so he can purchase MicroStrategy stock. What does he do then? Using that money, he shops for Bitcoin as if he had a platinum card at Costco. You're wondering why your Bitcoin proxy stock is plummeting as you're sitting there with the bag. We brought this up with that economist a long time ago. Do you recall that video? Unadulterated gold. And you know what's going on right now. People are experiencing that moment of waiting. The jig is up when you discover that your friend has been binge-watching episodes on Netflix with your password while you are forced to watch the commercials. The truth bomb that Dom from Easy just revealed has the Bitcoin fanboys clutching their pearls. This man is also no amateur. He used to calculate numbers for influential people on Wall Street. In essence, he is suggesting that MicroStrategy may be doomed. The worst part is still to come. MicroStrategy is down 20%. And appears to have been left out of the celebration, while Bitcoin is out there breaking records and popping champagne. Take a moment to consider that. You're watching the Bitcoin rocket ship take off from the parking lot, even though you purchased a ticket for it. It's unpleasant, but it's not leverage. There's more terrible news coming from Dom's crystal ball. Goodbye to ETFs, Coinbase and Robinhood once people realize that there are a million better methods to gain exposure to Bitcoin. Saylor will quickly discover that his piggy bank is empty. Speaking of frauds that go undetected, may we take a moment to discuss these cryptocurrency experts. They're shouting that XRP is going to make everyone a millionaire overnight, while also holding out their hands and urging them to invest in my fund. Hold on, Chief. Why am I giving you my money, instead of purchasing it myself and taking a vacation to a beach somewhere, if XRP is truly going to soar to $5,000 on Tuesday? It's not maths and humans. In essence, these men are displaying neon signs that read, "I don't believe my own hype." The drama doesn't end there though. According to Austin Campbell, Ethereum isn't prepared for the major leagues. This is going to be spicy. I see. Allow me to perform for you. Ethereum isn't ready for real-world asset issuance, in my opinion. As we recently saw with the Bybit hack, The Ethereum validator set is currently at a point where they are unwilling to take action against serious exploits. I would thus advise the Ethereum community as a whole to imagine the worst-case situation in which the private keys of Tether or Circle are hacked, and a hacker gains control of the Ethereum smart contract for USDC or USDT, including all of its freeze and seize powers. What are you doing? Correct. For example, why are you using your hands? What are you going to do then? Because everything on that chain will be broken. Additionally, the Ethereum product is not yet ready for prime time until we have much more sophisticated risk management tools available. Understand this. Yesterday or the day before, the financial industry released a paper stating that Ethereum completely fails. I actually just saw something from Smokedog, ISO 20022 compliance requirements, as if it's simply not yet prepared for the major leagues. To be honest though, the XRP community anticipated this. But this is what truly irritates me. Await the discussion on China and the CCP supporting the Ethereum network. We need to talk about that, even though no one wants to bring up the subject. Anyway, the interesting part is about to begin. The largest cryptocurrency idle liquidity unlock is set to occur on all platforms. Imagine if you are generating returns that are comparable to or higher than the bond market, earning 4 to 7% on your XRP, and all of this without having to make a taxable transaction. That is precisely what we are examining here. This is what's genuinely on the horizon. The next section is pure gold. Simply pay attention to what it says. How much yield are we talking about here? That's the main question that most people are probably thinking, listening and wondering. Double-clicking don't custodian nature is correct. Centaura or the Smart Yields platform is entirely non-custodial in this instance. The Firelight interface is the XRP, and each client uses their own platform to implement the strategies that they essentially own. This vault, known as risk-taking protocols, will be dispersed through wallets and exchanges, directly at the protocol level, and any user may engage with it in a non-custodial manner. In certain situations, as Hugo mentioned, some exchanges may take ownership of the XSP and deploy straight away because that's just how they communicate with asset management or yield vehicles. Nonetheless, that is only their internal process. Is nothing that does not restrict the protocol in any way. The market obviously affects one of the yields, but considering the demand and the momentum with stable coins or all of our tests, as well as many of the things Flare is launching on DeFi, we can be on the 4 to 7% yield on XRP, which is incredibly attractive for an asset that has never seen a yield where the cost of capital is fundamentally zero. Okay, we therefore need to discuss two important topics. First of all, we must be strategic, because this is completely uncharted ground. Watch your back whenever something new comes out, whether it's Flare or someone else. The problem is that hackers typically target the bridge, or DeFi connection, that transports your assets over there. Let's face it, that has been the weak point for the most of these third-party DeFi platforms. I'm not suggesting it will happen here. First, we must see this thing prove to be incredibly reliable. No backdoors, no holes, and no method for the evil people to enter covertly. Secondly, the point Vetexo made was brilliant. He said that he can already make 4 to 7% by simply riding the market's waves. Thus, it isn't worth switching his XRP to another platform in this chaotic market we're in right now. And what do you know? Veted is entirely correct in that regard. This is where I provide my opinion though. Getting a real dividend on my XRP is the ultimate goal, folks. Consider it. As the world utilizes your currencies, you can receive a consistent dividend without ever having to sell your XRP, turning it into your own private bank. You will never have to say goodbye to them. Why am I so excited about that? A few causes. First of all, I haven't sold my XRP in that situation, so I haven't experienced a taxable event. And as long as XRP is